10 seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3, where we're going to have the second game between mYinsanity and Denial Esports in this best of 2. Currently, mYinsanity, well, they got themselves a win, and it's going to be a pretty awesome win at that. We'll see if they can keep this train rolling, as Denial need out all the wins that they get to try to get themselves into a better position in the winner bracket. But anyway, we'll see how it pans out, as here on HeflaTV Hitbox 1, we're going to be bringing you the 2 final games of the day. This is actually the second to last game. We have one more after this. And I'm Mike Loris. I am joined by D-Sword, and man, that game was pretty wild. Do you think mYinsanity are going to go for it again?
I don't know. That was a really risky lineup. I feel like if you know that's going to happen, then you can easily counter it if you're Denial. So, I don't know. It was really fun to watch, though, I gotta admit. Like, it was fun to see the Jakiro, especially being so effective, but if Denial sees a Jakiro pick or something of the sort, they're immediately going to go to counter that.
Yeah, so it's still a very powerful hero, and last game we did see the Death Prophet being ignored. mYinsanity could have done pretty much the exact same thing if they picked up that hero. Maybe would have had a little bit more contribution as opposed to a Slark, but who knows. Opening like a Death Prophet right now can let them do a very similar thing without actually showing Denial that they are going to be doing that thing. So I think it's probably the safest pick that they could grab right now.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a decent house. I don't know. The first pick's always hard to tell really what they're going to go for, especially just based on the bands. The bands are also very typical. If mYinsanity goes for a more normal draft, have they no chance of beating Denial? Or
it's going to be hard. I mean, mYinsanity, I think in the previous games have been playing without Victor, so it's been all the other 4 without their full lineup. So I mean, having a full lineup is certainly very nice and everything, but Denial, though they haven't really been playing the best today, they've been playing very well, and mYinsanity, it's going to be tough for them, as they're probably not feeling too great about their stage in the group stages, just because I mean, they're guaranteed that spot in the losers bracket, so they might just want to do something wild for the hell of it. And Denial, well, they're going to open up with how we've seen them open up several times before in this tournament with the Puck IO. Really doesn't get any safer than this.
I mean, it comes to a point where if you're any team going against Denial, why don't you ban the IO?
I don't know. People were. I mean, we saw Aftershock ban out the IO, and then Power Rangers ban out the IO as well, or occasionally they did.
Yeah.
Some teams did it, some teams didn't.
I don't know if it's because they think they can beat the IO, like they did last game. mYinsanity did a good job at that, or because they just don't know that they're going to pick the IO.
I mean, they should know. If they've been paying attention at all, then they should know. So I'm guessing it's one of those things like, okay, you could have the IO. I mean, maybe as scary as IO is, maybe Brewmaster Batrider just a little bit more scary. I mean, it is certainly justifiable, as I would say. It is a lot easier for a Batrider to do well than it is for an IO to do well.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I don't know, but it's just Denial so good at the IO. It's like one of those heroes. If I was playing against Denial, the first thing I'd ban, just out of fear, really, not respect. That's not a respect ban; it's a fear ban. To be the IO. But you know. If mYinsanity, I think it's really easy to counter, though. However, I don't know why. I want to see more Disruptor picks, actually. Did Aftershock pick one? Yeah, they did, right?
There was, yes. I think it was them. There have been so many games lately, so I don't recall exactly. But there was a Disruptor pick, but I think that was after a Denial or a ban of IO, so it was just a Disruptor.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
And there's Jakiro again. They might be going for the same draft.
Well, so far it is the same. The difference. There is no difference, actually, is
No.
For mYinsanity, they still can go for literally the exact same thing if they really wanted to. It's a very stable opening. I mean, even if mYinsanity didn't play the last game, even if this was game 1, I wouldn't think twice about looking at this. It's like, oh, well, you pick up a Jakiro, you want to be a little bit aggressive. You pick up Ogre Magi, very tanky support hero. These are all normal things to do. So mYinsanity, they could just go completely off the rails and go for a very similar game as last game, or they could play it a little bit slower if they really want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a nice opening here, and I think it's trying to play on Denial's psychology as well. See if they freak out and start banning weird heroes. Wow, ban of the Elder Titan. That's actually kind of weird ban. Does Denial run the Elder Titan a lot?
I don't think I've seen them use it a single time, actually. Maybe once or twice or something like that, but in this group, there has not been much love for Elder Titan. It's been the previous groups, like with Virtus Pro Polar, they were running the Elder Titan day and night, so I mean, the Beastmaster ban makes a lot more sense, since that's a very Denial hero, but Elder Titan is a strong hero for sure. Maybe it could have found a place in Denial's lineup, but who knows? If I was mYinsanity, I wouldn't be too scared about that hero.
Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe they've played against it a lot. I don't know, Joe. If you're in the chat, you want to confirm if Denial loves running Elder Titan as a secret strategy, something of the sort. But I don't know. It's just a weird ban. I don't see it very often. In fact, I think it's one of the few times I've seen Elder Titan banned. It's one of the few heroes I always speak about. It's like, well, he's there. He does some things, but he's never like high impact. Oh, well. Sorry to hate on you.
He's a lot more popular nowadays. The support Elder Titan, as weird as it is definitely a thing. And if you get through the early stage where Elder Titan is generally not going to have as much impact as, say, a Vengeful Spirit or a Skywrath Mage, then come mid-game, you're going to be able to set up things, first of all, by yourself. You farm up a Eul Scepter, and you'll also be able to make your entire team do a truckload of damage. So I think it's a justifiable ban in general, though against Denial, not too convinced on that.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like a Denial hero, I agree. But, you know, let's see what Denial picks up now. Wow, Clockwork. That's an interesting pick. Do you think they're going to go back to the whole old ganking lineup they had against, what team was it? Wow. Power Rangers?
I mean, I don't see why not right now. They need another support hero, and with the Clockwork, you can go for, again, really any sort of strategy that you want. If they really want to, they could pick up a Medusa as their last and try to play this very, very slow. I mean, Clockwork is able to fight decently early, but he's going to get outclassed, I think, and no Terrorblade. I actually haven't seen a Terrorblade in quite a long time.
I like this. I really like this pickup. I think it really synergizes as well with mYinsanity's kind of strategy they went for last game. If they go for that strategy again, Terrorblade is really good for that.
Better or worse than Slark?
Better. I think so. I think just because he has the ability to snowball and push towers much more efficiently than Slark.
Yeah, I think it's really the tower destruction with Metamorphosis that is the key difference between the two. And, well, Terrorblade is going to give mYinsanity already just a crap ton of late game, and Denial, they have Puck to deal with it. Skywrath Mage is still in the pool, and it's one of the best counters when you're dealing with Terrorblade. If you just slam a Skywrath, and first of all, the seal, when he's trying to sunder people, is a pain in the ass to deal with, but also the Mystic Flare. And Terrorblade is one of the softer heroes in the game. Has a lot of armor, but Mystic Flare doesn't care about your armor.
No, I actually would go for the line. I actually like the line a little better than the Skywrath Mage, even though it doesn't have as much synergy with Denial's lineup, just because that it can destroy illusions so easily, and that Finger of Death, you know. Oh wow, you don't even need to land the Finger of Death, but Tiny, dual made with Tiny, it seems like, which is also a very Denial kind of thing to do.
Yeah, we haven't seen them run a Tiny just yet, but with this many IO picks, it was safe to assume that it was going to come eventually. It only took them just a little while. So Tiny versus Terrorblade is pretty decent. If you get in the face of Terrorblade, then Terrorblade, until he has a BKB, is going to just be interrupted constantly by that Craggy, because he does typically tend to attack very quickly. And when you're talking about destroying illusions, the cleave from Tiny's eventual Aghanim Scepter, or just his Avalanche Toss damage, which is already pretty high, is great at killing TB. So I think this is definitely a pretty clear Tiny game for Denial, as I would be kind of surprised if they went back to a Gyrocopter or something like that.
No, I really like the Tiny pick. I think it's synergized really well. But wow, Tempo Assassin. So mYinsanity is going for a very interesting lineup right now. I like it. It's like similar to the first one in the sense that there's early aggression and whatnot, but they definitely have some powerful late game if they chose to do so. So I like it. As for Denial, they're probably missing a support. What would you go for right now if you were Denial?
I still think Lion or Skywrath Mage are the order of business. Maybe not. It's not as great versus something like a Templar Assassin. At least the Lion isn't. But if you have any sort of extra damage, that's great. You need also a hero that is a support hero that is a little bit more self-sufficient, can fight a little bit more in lane, since IO really doesn't like doing that. So I think that'll be a really safe way for Denial to go. The Elder Titan, if it was still available, would also be pretty decent here.
I was actually considering the Lich as well, just because he can give that extra armor to the towers, which really slows down Terrorblade's push. I think that'll be a decent pick, especially because he has a really good lane presence as well. So I thought that's a possibility for Denial, but it's really up to them what they want to do. Do they want to shut down? Wow, never mind. Crystal Maiden.
You're close, right?
I guess that was
kind of.
Frost.
Yeah, you had an icy feel from Denial right now, and you were more or less correct. And well, it is going to have, first of all, a support that could fight early on. She's very weak, but on the offensive with Tiny, she could do a hell of a lot. And as long as she avoids Templar Assassin and Terrorblade, Crystal Maiden will be doing great. She does a crap ton of magic damage, and yeah, it's all about the spacing. And when you have Tiny IO, Puck, and Clockwork to kind of hide behind as Crystal Maiden, your ultimate just gets better and better and better. So I think this pick, as
Also,
weird as it is to see, it works in pretty well with Denial's lineup, since they have very mana-starved heroes. And well, mYinsanity, their last pick is going to be a Visage. Just a ton of burst damage. The Soul Assumption meter is going to be filled up pretty quickly. It's a hero that we don't really see that much being picked up without a Drow Ranger partner, but it still works out very well most of the time.
it used to be a top tier pick back in TI3 time.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing about Crystal Maiden, also the fact that fucking Mad actually plays her really well, at least when she used to be popular. But Crystal Maiden, the Frostbite, they changed it so that now it deals much more, like it's quicker, like it's more ticks of damage. So that's actually a really good counter against the TA. Yeah. That's something that should be noted. Like now they have a decent counter against her.
They have that, and they also have Avalanche, two things that burn through refraction charges very quickly. So when they're on the offensive, they're going to be just fine. And also, just Frostbite is a point-click disable, so Templar Assassin will be slowed down in her attempts at chasing whoever if you are in the right place at the right time if you're this CM. So I really like the CM pickup, and the Visage, I mean, it doesn't really have the same amount of synergy as the CM has for Denial, but being able to Fire Blast someone and then Liquid Fire them and then lay a fully charged Soul Assumption on top of them, or just meld hit into Soul Assumption, is going to be pretty ridiculous. And also it makes good usage of the minus armor provided by the Templar Assassin. No huge minus armor sub-theme for mYinsanity, but what they do have, they could definitely get a lot of value out of.
There's also an interesting point, which is that Victor plays that Visage really well. It's one of his favorite heroes, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen him with Visage a lot, and I mean, the synergy in mYinsanity is more along the lines of we can push stuff easily. Like it's not really more of a like before. I saw a little bit more like there was ganking potential and whatnot. This time it just kind of went for the full-on push. It worked once, why not try twice?
All right, so mYinsanity with a slightly... this time they have a late game plan, though. I mean, Terrorblade and Templar, though they're fantastic in the early stages of the game, if for whatever reason the game does drag on late, then, man, I would be very happy with the Terrorblade on my team with quite a bit of farm from previous pushing. He's going to get that extra tower gold. He's going to be delivering some serious damage. But let's quickly introduce the players before we get any more into that. On the mYinsanity side, we have Grazine now taking the role of the Korjakiro down towards bottom with enough bling for himself and a couple of others. He's going to maybe be joined by Victor on the Visage. Mid lane's going to be handled by Milan's Templar Assassin. That leaves Lizard once again on the Ogre Magi and Mitch on the Terrorblade.
As for the Denial side, we are going to have Jaral, this time playing the Puck. Down mid, we're going to have Cryo... Oh, actually, no, we're going to have Mr. Paris with that really cool set. And the supports will be Cryo on the IO and fucking man, the Crystal Main, which are going to help Tiny right now. And finally, in the off lane, we're going to have Funzy with his Clockwork. And are they going to go on Cryo J? No, they're not.
It's not really easy to make that happen, but we do see once again the IO clearing out some trees for Denial, so being able to pull out those camps and make a couple of stacks happen, though it wasn't actually cleared in the previous games. This game with the Tiny, it's so much easier to clear off a giant stack. Outside of Mud Golems, an Avalanche toss, or maybe two Avalanches in a toss, is going to be able to clear most of these camps. Ogre Magi, though, with boots first, is going very aggressively into the enemy side of the map, and if Ogre Magi finds Crystal Maiden, and CM is not near her tower, then Ogre Magi can very easily take that kill just by himself.
Yeah, I mean, only level 1 Ignite, though. I don't know how especially if, what did she go for level 1? Nothing yet. Could be a Frostbite. I don't know. I don't think, if the Crystal Maiden plays decently well, and doesn't get into any crazy positions, she should be alright. What I'm scared about, though, is he could, like, backdoor Paris when he's trying to go back to heal, or even worse, Cryo J, which is more likely to do that. And just kind of destroy him when they're trying to go back to base.
Right now, he's waiting for a courier delivery. Unfortunately, he's going to be waiting there for a very long time, the Ogre, as the courier is down towards the bottom lane, delivering something to Funzy. Just more healing for Funzy. So, Ogre Magi is not going to be able to do that much just yet, as he does have Ignite. It's pretty much the most aggressive way you could open as Ogre Magi. Ignite does more damage than Fire Blast level 1. He's going to try to go for Paris, but no, he's going to walk away. So, mid lane, it's a full dual lane for Denial, and it's doing a decent job at shutting down Milan, but really they can't expect to completely shut this TA out. This is going to leave Joral up towards the top lane solo, and not have to worry about poking from Victor and everything like that. Mitch, just by himself, could be okay in this scenario. Not the best, but the Terrorblade and the Visage should be able to have this lane on lockdown.
Grazine is in trouble, and he's going to go down there. Funzy's going to completely kill him with that Cogs and Matter Assault combo. And well, that was actually a really easy kill on them.
The Jakiro with a hell of a lot of armor, which is certainly very nice, but this damage combo from Denial isn't really reliant on the right clicks. It's mostly just about that magic damage sustained by the battery assault, and of course being set up firsthand by the Crystal Maiden, which is mostly magical as well. So Grazine maybe just got a bad read on this laning stage. I mean, you don't really gear up with double rings of protection unless you expect to be under a lot of physical harassment, and that's really not going to be the case for this lane. So I think he just got a bad read.
Who did he think he was going to face against that would harass him?
I have no idea. Oh, mid lane. The courier is finally going to die, I think. Lizard looking for one more hit. The delivery makes it happen, but the boots are going to be down, and Lizard is going to be happy with that pick off. Lizard should also be fine. However, Paris, yeah, he's going to walk out of there just fine. But in the meantime, it's going to be Grazine once again stuck in cogs. This magic damage is so heavy, and even if they don't even touch the Jakiro, they will be able to bring him down. Yeah, Clockwork getting a second one down towards bottom. Maybe they expected there to be a tiny lane, or I honestly have no clue, dude.
Yeah, I still don't understand the 2 rings of protection. I mean, I honestly don't get it. But hey, maybe he thought the battery assault was physical or something of the sort. Like he had like a lapses momentarily.
I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe you just go for Tranquils and a Ring of Basilius, and you don't want to go back to base, which is also a good way to go. But I don't know.
Oh.
Generally, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, though, Funzy is starting to like Clockwork is also one of those heroes that can snowball really well. So if you get him in early level 6, the only thing I don't particularly love is the phase boots. But I guess he does have the Arcane Aura, so he's fine. I particularly like Arcane Boots much better on the Clockwork, but Phase are fine too, I guess. If he gets for an early Aghanim or something of the sort, he can easily snowball out of control and start ganking everywhere.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough to instantly win Denial of the game, farmed Clockwork, but it'll be enough to buy Tiny more than enough to finish it off from there. So Lizard was going to chase down the CM just a little bit, and I think it is mostly just because of the Crystal Maiden Aura that the Clockwork is going for this item. Also, he's just doing so well that you can get these aggressive items. Paris is going to be dying over towards the mid lane. 3-0 now for Denial, and I mean, this game is a lot more conventional than the last one. We have more or less ordinary lanes. We have more or less ordinary heroes, and we can see Denial, when they play this safe, standard way of playing, it's working out a lot better for them, at least for now. Things could always turn around.
Yeah, I mean, ordered lane's not quite, because we do have a, Crystal Maiden. And that's not weird. That's weird. The Visage as well, but I guess it's less weird than last game, which we have in Axe and whatnot. They're gonna go on Victor now. They're gonna frostbite him, and he's gonna go down really easily. But Mitch wants to get fucking mad. He is trying to juke him in the threes. Wow, really clever, but no, almost juked him. That was really good. My sincere applause to fucking man. That was almost a really good juke.
Yeah, just hiding behind the tree and not moving instead of just circling around it.
Yeah.
Was potentially enough to get himself out, but it's a Crystal Maiden we're talking about. She, on the offensive, does a ton of damage, but on the defensive, she's paper, and really Mitch is going to be able to tear through paper very easily with his Metamorphosis up, so kind of to be expected that the Terrorblade would get the kill there. Regardless, it is still going to be the Puck claiming a kill on a support, Terrorblade getting a kill on the support, and as far as short term is concerned, Puck is going to get a bottle off of that, and he's going to get a little bit closer to his Blink, whereas Mitch is... well, he's holding on to a lot of gold. I mean, if he's going for a Radiance Rush or something like that, then a kill on Crystal Maiden is going to help him a lot more than a kill on Puck. But I don't really know if I like a straight Radiance Rush this game. He's holding on to a lot, though, and usually you don't hold on to 1800 if you don't have something big planned.
Midas, perhaps that could be the case. Like, some people don't buy the Gloves of Haste necessarily because he may be waiting to see how much he farms. But I agree with you. Like, I think it's the only other option besides Radiance.
Right, Midas I won't mind as much as Radiance, or just very late power treads. I guess that's also a thing. Funzy on the bottom lane is going to get set up upon. He has cogs that are now up, but he's still taking quite a lot of dot damage, and now with the dual breath and liquid fire, he is going to go down. Funzy all alone, and well, to start off with, he was at about half HP, which isn't really where you want to be, so the Clockwork going to take a free fall down in bottom lane. mYinsanity now 2 kills on the board for them as they take down the Crystal Maiden and the Clockwork, but still Denial, as long as they get this farm on the Tiny, they will be happy with the game state.
Yeah, I mean, well, the same with mYinsanity though. If they get their farm on the Terrorblade, I don't think they should be too unhappy. He did go for very late treads. I don't know. I don't know why he would be saving for that, but I guess Mitch just wanted to buy it all at once, or I don't know.
And then have 900 gold extra. I mean, it came up, and I don't really think the sequencing in this particular game really mattered that much. It just threw us for a loop a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, I was hoping for like a super weird rush, like Radiant's Rush. That would be. I mean, I don't agree with it, but it would be interesting to see. That's for sure. On the other hand, Paris is actually also doing well. Both Terrorblade and Paris are doing really well, and Puck is gonna get a kill on the Terrorblade as I'm speaking. Jesus Christ. But yeah, they're doing pretty well, and the TA is also doing decently well, but not as well as these two cores. So it's really gonna be up to them and probably Funzy to kind of change this game in the mid game stages.
Well, Clockwork does have his hook shot now available, so I mean he previously got kills with a little bit of help down the bottom lane. Now that he has his hook shot, if he gets Grazine or someone like that all by themselves in those cogs, then he will be able to take him down. But his tower is also being pushed, so he has to be careful in this scenario. Lizard and Grazine both are a little bit too much for the Clockwork to deal with, and they're just leaving the Clockwork down here on the bottom lane just by himself. I mean, the Tiny is getting help from IO, and you can't really expect the IO to help out in this situation. But CM is up on top, and she got a kill on the Terrorblade, but this is at the expense of Clockwork. It is certainly worth it, but Clock is not going to have as big a contribution as we previously thought, even after opening with a double kill. So it's Fonzie who's going to need to rotate out soon.
Yeah, actually, they're going to go on Joral right now. He's taking a little bit of damage. They're actually going to go on Victor, turning the tides here and being completely destroyed by fucking Mad Mitch is the next target. There is Funzy trying to help his friend out, and he has a Timber Chain. I mean, oh my god, the Clock Chain if he needs that. But he's not going to need it. In fact, the Ice Path comes out. The Macropyle as well, dealing a lot of damage. Joral, next target of the aggression. Nope. He's going to be alright with that phase shift. And Funzy taking considerable amount of damage, but still going to be alright thanks to that urn. And meanwhile, Paris actually going to calmly farming mid, so that's actually really good. There's a lot of space being created for him. He already has the drums as well, and 8 minutes in, that's actually quite a lot of farm.
And Denial, they're not done yet with this top lane. Clockwork doesn't have enough mana to use Hookshot and Battery Assault, but he doesn't really need to. He's going to open up with Battery Assault. Here comes the IO as well. He's going to try to go for Lizard in the meantime. Grazine stuck in a corner. Going to throw some Dual Breath over the way towards Joral, but that's not going to be enough. In the meantime, Funzy does land the Hookshot and will kill off the Ogre Magi. And actually, the Jakiro doing a lot more damage to the Puck than I really expected. It will be a kill for Jakiro, but it will be a posthumous kill. So Jakiro not getting experience from that one. It's going to be a trade that benefits Denial. As Cryo makes his first rotation out, it's kind of weird to see IO doing it, but hey, if you're going to get a kill and get yourself to level 6, then you might as well go for it. And now relocates are online in Paris. He's level 7, so relocating Tiny is going to be very bursty for Denial.
Yeah, that's going to be quite an insane combo if they manage to get it out. I would not bother. Actually, no, never mind. I was going to say, maybe available this could be fun to see, but nobody here to pick it up. Do you think the Clockwork's going to just straight up go for Ags at this point?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ags. I wouldn't be surprised to see, well, top lane, they're going to relocate in onwards onto Victor. Avalanche is going to land. He's going to get punched down. The IO is going to dodge the Dual Breath, now bottling in the trees. Grazine going to try to chase this hero down, but it's going to be the IO to make a clean escape as he tethers away. Tiny is going to get the toss kill, but actually Cryo is going to jump right back into the mid lane where Milan and Lizard are waiting. Needs 3 more seconds for a tether out, but it's not going to happen. It's still a 2-for-1, and it's still very much so worth it. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Aghanim's rush. Although Force Staff against the Templar Assassin and Refraction, or the Templar Assassin traps and the Reflection from the Terrorblade won't be too terrible either.
That's true. Force Staff is actually really good on the Clockwork as well. But oh well, we'll see what he gets. I think either item is viable in this case. And that Garjo is playing a really good IO. I mean, I think I've seen him in the games I've seen. I've always seen him play IO. He's really good with a hero, but it's just a pity that they're always waiting for him. They really hate him.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, he has been performing pretty well, and generally IOs don't really get enough credit. I mean, it's usually like, oh, Tiny's getting so much farm. He's hitting things so hard, and the IO is kind of just shafted in that regard. But, I mean, he has been doing a lot more than IOs have normally been doing. With 4 assists this early on in the game, he's been doing quite a bit for the team. And well, bottom lane, Joral, he's actually pushing this pretty aggressively just by himself. Does have a haste rune, so he is going to be okay if something happens. And Funzy is in the area. They see Victor now. However, the Clockwork's a little bit too far away. Puck might be able to get this kill by himself, especially with the Silence Orb through. Yeah, Joral doesn't need any help. He's going to easily clean up the Visage, and now the Clockwork, still with that hookshot, really wants to use it. Might run into a Terrorblade, but if he's not careful, he's going to catch an illusion. Terrorblade is running the wrong way. Oh, no, Funzy, don't take that bait. Oh, he took the bait.
Oh. You know what I think they need, by the way? I think, if they want to continue with this, Shakiro just actually died in his own Macropire. That's the last thing I saw, just a dragon dying in the fire. But yeah, he was ganked by Tiny IO. Of course, he was going to die. Anyway, the thing I think they need, and I know casters don't talk about this much, but I think they should put awards around the jungle area for the rating. They're going to go on Milan again. Nothing. They should put wards in the jungle area for the radiant jungle, because the Clockwork can easily gank if he has vision of them while they're farming, and Terrorblade has a tendency to farm the creep camp so well. So I think that would be a good place to put wards, like around here perhaps, or around here, something of the sort. Like there'd be good wards there, and then the Clockwork could easily kill the Terrorblade off, because it's really easy for a Clockwork to kill off a Terrorblade with the amount of magical damage he deals.
I mean, they had an observer at the kind of bottom lane entrance to their jungle, so
yeah, but
having that and having like a rune entrance is going to most of the time be enough, as Paris just walks forward and gets an easy kill on Visage over towards the mid lane. Yeah, covering the Terrorblade's farm is going to be of the utmost importance, and he will clear out the Ancients for now, but he's going for a very linear build. I mean, he's going for the Yasha, it looks like, maybe a Manta style following, so I don't know, do they really want to play that defensively? Because even though they may want to protect the Terrorblade's farm, when you ward like that, you sacrifice a lot of your offensive capabilities, and it seems like, well, actually, never mind. With Milan packing a hand of Midas, it looks like they are going to play this very slow, but it looks like Denial, they're not going to give him the chance. Hookshot into Lizard in mid lane. Funzy's going to sit in the macro pyre for a lot longer than he really wants to, but he will be able to make a clean escape. And here comes the puck off to the side. Will land a coil onto Grazine. Paris going to walk right through that fire, and he's going to avalanche and kill the Jakiro. Now onto Victor. Going to start punching him down. With the help of that overcharge, Cryo is going to give chase through a tier 2 tower. Blink forward from the puck is going to drop Victor in a hurry. All these heroes are deep behind enemy lines, and Cryo is going to need some way to tether out. Looks like Dural will give him that way out, but we do have Terrorblade in the area, possibly in a little bit more danger than he really realizes, but it's still a whole bunch of kills going the way of Denial. And mYinsanity, their game plan in this game is to just take it super late. I don't know if that's going to fly.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the easiest of options, especially against a Clocker that's playing so well here. He's rushing Aghanim's, by the way, which I think is the right choice. I completely agree with that. And he's going to go there on Mitch. Mitch is in trouble. He's going to go down really easily against the combination of Funzy, Joral, and Cryo J. He didn't even relocate for that one.
No,
never
did.
mind. He did.
Yeah.
He did. Okay, now that's my bad.
Yeah, but Funzy was just waiting there, and he just needed a little bit extra silencing powers to make sure that Sunder didn't come out. So easy kill from Funzy, and he is going to go for that Aghanim Scepter, so he will be able to continuously lay down this pressure onto the enemy team. Mid lane, we see a brawl. Macropyre is already down on the floor. Puck going to get out of there. Grazine, which mostly is zoning tool, it seems like, as Denial, they are warded away, and it's going to be a tower deny for the mYinsanity side. Really, they are going to be very happy about that, given how well Denial are playing, or how aggressively Denial playing right now. They need every single pause that they can get, and Grazine, well, he's going to get reinitiated upon over towards the mid lane. Double familiar drop is going to slow them down, but not stop them, as the toss avalanche combo kills off the Jakiro. Now Dural, well, he takes a little bit of punishment for his efforts, but it will be a clean escape from the Tiny. Fucking Mad baiting for Funzy now into the CM ultimate. Milan is going to try to fight to the death, but her death is going to come way too quickly. That was such a nice bait from Fucking Mad. Very sneaky and very successful as well.
Yeah, very clever, honestly. Fucking Mad's known for these things. He just has these plays you kind of go like, ah, so smart. As a casual point booster, by the way, do you think it's going to be made into an Aghanim, or?
It's a possibility. I don't think you go for Bloodstone as CM, do you? It seems like Aghanims is more likely.
CM Aghanims, though, I haven't seen that in a while.
It just makes it, like, generally more powerful. I don't think there's anything huge about it, right? It just, like, bumps the damage.
Generally better, you know, like buff or something. I don't know what it is.
Hey, I mean, Tiny's Aghanims makes him, like, that's a huge leap of power compared to, like,
yeah.
You know, Laguna Blade or something, which is just, like, a tiny, or a very linear scaling of power. You know, you have these differences.
I feel like it increases the explosions. And the
more
movement speed,
slow, more damage, more attack slow. Yeah, everything just takes a bump, which is just like another level of ultimate. And who could say no to that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, a Bloodstone's actually not a bad idea ever since she lost after being intelligence, because she really has a hard time casting all her spells. So I don't think it's the worst of ideas, honestly. But I think an Aghanim might be more higher impact, especially because she's a support. So I don't think a Bloodstone's like the ideal thing on her.
Yeah, and bare minimum, when you're working for an Aghanims, you're going to have a point booster and you're going to have an Ogre Club. And when you're talking about CM, you need those items. Oh, Milan is going to juke out a hook shot over towards the south area, but it's going to be top where mYinsanity have their sights. They are not smoked up or anything like that, but they're just going to charge forward for the puck. They have to worry about the bottom lane, because Denial, they're still working with an Io who has the potential for split pushing, and since Tiny has the Aghanims completed 15 minutes in, these towers are going to fall very quickly. The tree does extra damage, and the toss does damage to towers as well, so mYinsanity, they're going to lose one of their last outer tier 1 towers.
Yeah, that's not good because Tiny is now able to start the split push as much as he wants. Jarrell's actually going to be caught out here. The Ice Path not hitting him though. Wow, what a beautiful orb. He can blink away. He's going to be all right. Good job by Jarrell. But yeah, I think right now the name of the game for Denal is just kind of split push with the Tiny while the Clockwork and the Pluck kind of take kills. There it is. Never mind. Okay, what? They're actually going to continue this fight and kill Lizard now, but the GG's been called.
I don't know.
Are you confused by this too, or?
Well, mYinsanity were very far behind, right? So there's that. They also have no reason to play this game, just because, like, there's no reason for them to play it because they're not going to improve their standings. So they gave it a shot. If they were very far ahead, I'm sure they would have kept going. But Denial with a 7-0-4 Tiny 15-minute Aghanims, they were getting all the kills in the world.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense given the circumstances in the tournament. But regardless, guys, this is not the last game of the day. We have the resuming of Denial versus Aftershock. Hopefully that is going to be played, although I don't know if it's going to matter as far as standings is concerned. Might not matter, in which case, screw it. But yeah, we're going to be moving on to that one in just a little bit, guys. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by D-Sword. We'll be right back for the last game of the day.
See you guys next time.